Good morning and welcome to Seller Sessions. I have with me today one of my really, really, really good friends, Mina Elias. Hi, Mina. Good morning.
Hey, what's up? How's it going, Isa?
It's going very well. Since last time I saw you, it's been a long time.
Since 2 days ago.
Exactly. It's so good to have you. I know you've been on Seller Sessions before, and I think what we're going to talk today, it's going to be something a lot of people are interested in and could use some help with, myself included. So why don't we start, just for those that don't know you, I'm sure everybody knows you, but for those that don't, just give us the tiniest background on you so we can catch up.
Okay, tiniest background. My name is Mina Elias, aka the Egyptian Prescription. I sell supplements on Amazon. Been selling since 2018. Over seven figures in supplements. I love supplements. I'm addicted. I make my own. So I have a bachelor's in chemical engineering and chemistry, master's in industrial engineering. I worked in the field for 5 years. And so I'm very familiar with manufacturing, with the continuous improvement, lean, Six Sigma, all of these types of things that go into like manufacturing process. And so combined my chemical background, my love for supplements, that and me being an athlete and being addicted and wanting to create supplements for myself to create a business. I actually did not get into Amazon to make money. I got into Amazon because I had a supplement brand and I needed to sell my product somehow. And then just continuously got better and better at Amazon, and here we are.
I love that you had the supplement brand before you even knew and thought about doing it on Amazon. That's pretty cool. It's usually the other way around. Usually
Hmm.
people find Amazon and then they try to branch off of Amazon. So that's pretty awesome. I love that. I know you are
Yeah.
very dedicated, and I've known you for over a year now, and I can see a huge difference and a huge change in your life in just 1 year. So I'm very excited to see you grow to,
Yeah,
in 2, 3,
2021
5
should be better. Yeah, 2021 will be much
should
better.
be better. You already are amazing. I love the comments already coming in. That supplemented your money making, as said. Awesome. I would love, why don't we start with, since we're talking about biohacking, which I think is so, so very cool. I started looking into biohacking for myself a few years ago, when Dave Asprey came out with the bulletproof coffee. And, I just started I went down the rabbit hole just starting from that. And I've discovered a lot of amazing things, but I've never actually met a person that follows most of the biohacking hacks that are out there. So, can you start and tell us maybe just what your typical day look like?
Okay, so my typical day, I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. 5:40, I'm out of bed, like completely out of bed. I start reading my affirmations, and then I also read my goals out loud. Then I'm like 5:50, I'm in the bathroom doing my skincare routine, shaving and stuff. Then at 6, depending on what the day is, some days I start off the day off by going straight to the gym. Other days I work. So at 6, I'm either at like driving to the gym or working. If I'm driving to the gym, I go work out, come back, work, and then go to MMA, and then come back again, work. I usually have 2 meals a day, so I usually fast for like about 18 to 20 hours, and then I'll have 2 meals, maybe one at 3 and one at 5. And then after work, I'm done working. I'll probably do some education. So I'll spend an hour doing education, then a half hour reading a book, and then I will do either like anything like a business related activity like networking or something. I recently have started going golfing, like hitting the range. So I'll do that with friends, certain friends, and we'll talk and mastermind and stuff like that. Or I'll just stay at home, watch CEO interviews and podcasts and things like that, and then go to bed at 9:30, and that's it.
I know you made it sound so simple, but I know it's not that simple. So why don't we start breaking it down, especially with the morning part? That's something that I have some struggles with when I have to wake up early. I definitely love to be awake at night, and it's very hard for me to wake up in the morning. So what
Mhm.
is one thing that you do that helps you wake up at 5?
Okay, so I tried a bunch of different things, and I have a Whoop, and so basically this it's spelled WHOOP, and basically what it does is it tests my heart rate, like or not, it measures my heart rate continuously, nonstop, 24/7, and my heart rate variability, which gives me a lot of data on my recovery and my performance and everything like that. So the things that I noticed help me get out of bed is number one, I have a Google Home Nest. It turns the temperature at it used to be 5 a.m., now 5:15 because it really heats up really quickly. It goes from 66 degrees to 74 degrees in my house. And because it gets so warm, I no longer feel like I want to stay in bed. And this has happened before where like at 5:10, I'll wake up and I'll go to the bathroom. And then by the time I come back, I'm like, I don't even want to go to bed anymore. It's just so hot in here. It's not so hot. It's just like it feels like work temperature. And so my body is now like used to understanding like a 74 to 77 degrees is working temperature, and then 4 to 66 degrees or 67 degrees is sleeping temperature. So um at 5:15 my home turns warm, and then I have a smart plugs for my lights. So all of my lights in my not in my bedroom, but right outside my bedroom. Not in my bedroom but I if you're living alone, probably do it also in your bedroom. But anyways, you could turn the lights on everywhere at 5:30 in the morning. My alarm at 5:30 in the morning is like right here. You see, like right on the counter. So I'll have to get out of bed in the warm, walk. It's light out here, and then I'll get my phone, and it's my phone is connected to the charger. So I'll unplug my phone, turn it off. By the time I make it to my room, I'm like, dude, it's just the cover is there on my bed. It's too warm to go back to bed. So I make my bed and then I jump into the bathroom. Within like 10 minutes, my alarm starts ringing. So I have alarms, and it's like 5:30, wake up. 5:45, it says, read affirmations. 5:50, it says read goals out loud and things like that. So I have alarms with labels, and they help me do things like very very consistently. So that's just my morning part, and then between like 5:45 to 6, I'm doing my skincare routine, I'm doing my face routine, like shaving and brushing my teeth, all this stuff. It's very important because I never used to do this stuff, and my skin started like deteriorating. I'm only 28 years old, and a lot of people were like, oh, I thought you were in your like 30s and stuff, and so I didn't like that. And it's obviously because I wasn't taking care of myself. So I said, okay, I'm gonna add a routine, and I started with one thing, and it was just moisturization. And then I started doing a scrub, and then I started doing a scrub moisturization toner, and then and so on and so forth. And now I
Was
have
it
like
hard for you? Was it hard for you to start your skincare routine since you've never done that? Was it hard to add it into your habits? I guess that's the better
no
question.
no because so first my only morning habit was brushing my teeth, right? Of course. But that's all my parents taught me. Once I grew a beard, it used to not look like this. This looks like at least a decent beard. It doesn't look crazy. And so it's not the sharpest, but what I used to do is I used to wait till to go to the barber to get it fixed, and then it used to like look too bad and too crazy. So I said, okay, I'm gonna add one thing, which is I'm gonna clean up the bottom. And so it's went from brushing to that, and then I added the top one too. So now I'm like, when I come from the barber, it's already lined up, and I have one of those razors, and I just kind of do it right at the same line. So it became three, and then it became four, and so this is goes into habit stacking, and so I never went into any habit that I have. Now I have so many habits, and if you look at my habits, you're like, it's insane. You do 65 different things in the morning, and it's all like this. And it wasn't 65. It was one. It was brushing my teeth, and then I just did one more thing consistently, and then one more thing consistently.
Yeah, can you explain to those who don't know what habit stacking is? Can you
So
go into detail on that?
okay, that's it. So habit stacking. If you guys have read the book Atomic Habits, that's where he like uses the word habit stacking. I just kind of used to do it without knowing what it was, but basically what it is let's say you do one thing every single day. You know that you're going to do it every single day at a certain time, and you want to add a new habit. So let's say that I want to journal. I know that every single day, for example, I'm going to take the pre-workout when I hit the gym, right? Or I'm going to take like hydrolyte energizer before I hit the gym. So what I'm going to do is I have like this list, right? And I'll journal right after I take my pre-workout because I know every single day I'm gonna take my pre-workout before I hit the gym. Or if I hit the gym like 5-6 days a week, I know I'm gonna do it 5-6 days a week. And so if I want to journal 5-6 days a week, I'll just add that right after. And so every time I like have my journal book, and then on top of it the Hydrolyte Energizer. So every time I go reach out for the Hydrolyte Energizer, the journal book is there, and I'm like, okay, I know that I got to journal. And so I'll take the Energizer and then I'll journal while I'm drinking the Energizer. And it doesn't have to be. This is another thing that a lot of people like think like you have to go from zero to like where I am or where like the top people in the world are. Like, no, you don't. If I don't journal at all, you know this. I just started. So I didn't say that I'm going to go from not journaling to journaling 30 minutes a day. I said I'm going to go from not journaling to like writing at least 5 sentences. And I set the bar super, super low. Now, there's another book that will help you with that. It's called Mini Habits. And that's like where you don't have to start by doing something perfect. You just have to start by doing like the bare minimum, but doing it consistently. So, for example, you want to work out every day. Okay, start by just doing 5 push-ups. That's it. If you do 5 push-ups, you're done. And so if you every single day you're doing 5 push-ups, doing 5, okay, you're like, okay, what about like let me add some more, 5 more. Okay, 5 more. Okay, let's add 5 squats, and so on and so forth. So mini habits combined with habit stacking is super, super powerful. So find a habit that you already have in your life to add that new habit that you want to have in your life, and then start with the smallest thing, but do it consistently. Once you build that consistency, it's so easy to build on top of it. So a lot of what I've gotten to today is just by stacking one habit on top of the next, starting super, super small, and then building consistency, and then adding more to an already established and consistent habit, even though it's a small one.
And for the journaling, what is it that you do, and what made you get into that? Like, what's the end goal of that?
So I feel like a lot of the things that I've done in my life was because of intention. So you know how intentional I am. So I was actually just talking to a friend yesterday. I go to the extent of I have a list of activities that I like doing: hiking, camping, beach, trying new foods, fancy stuff, and hole in the wall, like crazy activities, like the stuff I do with Daniel, like shooting up cars and stuff, things like that. And so I have a list of the things that I want to do, and then I have a list of all of my friends, and then under every single activity that I like doing, I put the name of the friend that this applies to. So, for example, you might be perfect for going to fancy restaurants, but you might not be perfect for going to like camping in the wild or like hunting. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm very intentional like that. I wanna go hunting. So I'll see which of my friends this applies to, and then I'll know next time I want to go hunting, hit up all of these people. And then and if the list is small, okay, get it bigger somehow. Go to a hunting meetup. Go to like sign up for the hunting club. Make some friends. And so I'm very intentional like that because it allows me to get the stuff done. Now with journaling, I noticed that I wasn't setting any intentions for a lot of different things. Now here's the different things. I was not setting like my goals. My goals are there; they're written down, but they're somewhere in a file in my computer. So I was not thinking about them, intentionally often enough. So I wanted to do that. So that's on Monday, every Monday. Tuesday, gratitude. So yes, I practice gratitude, but it was just very sporadic. So I wanted to intentionally make sure that I am never taking anything that I have for granted. My eyes, my ears, this is where I live, the sun, my friends, my family, my health, everything. So it allows me to never kind of like, when you set goals and you don't accomplish them, a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't accomplish them. But having the gratitude, it's always like grounding me, like listen, like you have so much to be grateful for. There's no reason that you should be upset about certain things you didn't accomplish. So Wednesday is I have things that I'm good at. And this always kind of keeps me puts me in that frame of mind where it's like, remember what your strengths are, and it always allows me to remember what my strengths are and play more to my strengths. And then on a Thursday, I have weaknesses, and I frame it a little bit differently, but it's like things that I say I should be better at doing this thing. Like I need to be better at X, or I will get better at this by doing that. So very intentionally making sure I am paying attention to my weaknesses, and I'm proposing a way to be better, or to improve those weaknesses, because I think we all have weaknesses, but I think, like, you see this in MMA. I see it a lot in MMA. Some guy, his legs could be short and stocky, so his weakness, like, he can't really put up triangles or anything like that. Triangle submissions, but because he practices so much, he's still able to do it much better than like a blue belt maybe, or like a black belt with a very bad triangle game. If he works hard enough at it, can beat a purple belt with a really good triangle game. You know what I'm saying? And so, yes, it might not be your strength, but you can get it, so you can evolve it so much that it's someone else's strength. You know what I'm saying? And so this also, and I'll finish. So Friday, I finish it off by talking about how do I achieve my 10-year goals in 6 months. And this is, like, I think, the most powerful one. And this is I do it on Friday intentionally, because Friday is like a much more chill day. I don't take any calls or whatever. It's a very building day. And the schedule is just perfect for Friday for me to extra journal. So the reason I do how to achieve my 10-year goals in 6 months, obviously I didn't come up with it. I don't know who exactly came up with it, but it forces me to think exactly how I can achieve it. And so, for example, I was talking to a friend, and I said, well, how can you achieve? What's your 10-year goals? Let's start there. First of all, to answer how do I achieve my 10-year goals in 6 months, you have to know your 10-year goals. A lot of people don't have that set up. So if you don't have that set up, it means you don't even have a GPS. You don't even have that, like, destination where you're going to. So once you set that destination, it's like, okay, how do I achieve it in 6 months? So for me, I'm like, okay, let's say my 10-year goals is to get MMA nutrition to 50 million. So how do I achieve it in 6 months? Okay, well, I can have all these, like, mental barriers. Like, well, I need a big team. Okay, you can hire a big team. Okay, I don't know how to hire and train a big team. Okay, you can hire someone who knows how to hire and train a big team. Okay, well, I don't have the money. Okay, you can raise money from venture capital, or private equity, etc., etc., etc. Like, every single problem, you're like, okay, I have to, like, come up with a solution and compress it into 6 months. And yes, you're not going to reach your 10-year goals in 6 months, most likely, but I guarantee you that you're going to reach much further than you were going to reach in 6 months. And so doing that every single Friday really allows me to break through a lot of mental barriers that I have. Like, oh man, I set this $10 million goal in 6 months, or this $50 million goal in 10 years, because I feel like it's, by the time I have a full team, by the time I have, I need like 20 SKUs to get to that number. Okay, you need 20 SKUs. Why don't you launch 20 SKUs tomorrow? You can come up with, like, 5 different products, 4 different flavors. I do have the background. So it's like, okay, but I need capital. Okay, so you can, find an investor or private equity and raise the capital. Okay, but I need, like, a whole team to implement this. Okay, so you can use that money from the private equity to hire, it's like, it's only in your mind. It's real, like, it's doable. Like, if I told Elon Musk my 10-year goals, if I brought Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos together and I said, hey guys, like, this is my 10-year goals, can you get it done in 6 months? They'll get it done in 3 months. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that it's like there's a certain thing blocking me. It's just that I'm blocking myself. And so it changes the way that I think, which I think helps me. So that's, and I want to go back, circle back quickly
Well,
to Thursday.
you said
Yeah,
so much, and I love that you break them down by each day. But can we talk about? I just discovered why I've never been invited hunting. Now it all makes sense. It makes
okay.
sense why I never got that invite. So yeah, thank you. I'll try to be
Yeah.
not as bougie, not the bougie friend from now on. So maybe I get to go hiking and
Yeah, I think you can guess why.
I don't understand. But anyway, let's move on to to something else. So one thing that you said that I really, really love, even though I don't know what triangle position is, I
Yeah.
assume it's an MMA thing. And you said that somebody that maybe wasn't born necessarily up to that standard that has to work harder, which it's kind of translates into life, because a lot of people that were born maybe in like poverty, you see them work so hard that they can overtake in success somebody that maybe was born in like a normal family that had everything, even though they weren't like the richest. And it kind of translates into everything, especially like for foreigners, like for me and you, that we came from other country. Like we're always working, we're always trying hard. And I love to say this because we didn't start from zero. We had to start from below zero. Like, especially for me, like it took me a long time to get to zero, but zero was perfect for me because from zero, I could build anything. But so, for example, I came, I had no English, I had no skills. So that's what I mean by zero. I had to like bring it to a level where I actually have a conversation with somebody. But zero is all I needed. And then boom, from then it scales. So I really love that analogy that you gave with with somebody. You said somebody that's, may not have like the perfect leg length, right? That's what you said.
Mhm.
But
Yep,
he works
exactly.
himself so hard that he may even beat somebody that's in black belt, which I think is so powerful. And I hope everybody caught that and they can apply it in
Yeah,
their
and
life.
because so many people are like, oh, like everyone says, hire to your strengths, and I get it. Or hire to your weaknesses, to complement your strengths, and I get it. But so many people like to throw their hands in the air and say, well, this is my weakness. It's my weakness, and I'm like, okay, but like you need to understand that you can take your weakness so much, like if my strength is systems, and that's not your strength, that's your weakness. You can probably get your like level of systems so much higher. Will If I work to my potential, yeah, my systems will be higher, but you can get it so much higher that you're going to be better than everyone who's just like normal at systems, or everyone who's like me who didn't work hard to get their systems up. So you know what I'm saying. You can People assume that their weakness, like, is their weakness. No, like, you can work your weakness so much that it can be considered as like at a level of someone's strength if you work it so much. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so definitely, and to with the whole concept of like, some people are born higher than others. Honestly, it's probably to your benefit if you're born less. So if people are making excuses out there, it's probably to your benefit, because at the end of the day, the people who are successful, in my opinion, are the ones who are building the skills. And for us, we had to build so much more skills because we were at a disadvantage than the people who were already at an advantage. So yeah, maybe you had a little of a leg up because of your, you had money to get a better education. That stuff is not going to make a difference. Your skill set is what's going to make a difference. And so immediately, by me being at a disadvantage, forces me to have to like level up and gain those like personal skills much faster than someone who's a lot more comfortable, because he's kind of like, has that advantage. So I think it can even be, if you're born into a disadvantage, it can even be an advantage, because at the end of the day, when you look at the people at the top, you're not measured by this guy. Maybe like certain things like politics and stuff like that, yeah, but in general, like in the world of business or whatever, it's people who were born at a disadvantage at the top, they have skills. People who were born at an advantage, they can't not have that same skills, or they're gonna get crushed by the people who do have the skills. So it's in all instances, you need to get to a certain level of skill to be at the level that you want to be. So for you to get there, it doesn't matter if you have an advantage or you're not. You have to build those skills.
Yeah, I love that. And me and you talked about this a lot because I tend to be that kind of person. It's like, oh, I'm so weak at this, I'm just going to hire somebody. And then it ends up not working out for me, actually, because nobody can tell really what you have in your mind. I mean, they can try their best and they can try it in their way. And I think we've been told so much, especially entrepreneurs, like we all kind of pass around the same books. We all pass around the same knowledge, and it's fantastic. I'm very appreciative of all the books that I've got it recommended. But I feel like sometimes, and it goes in life and everything, like if we see an easy way out, we're always going to try to take that easy way out. And I think when you mentioned about trying to learn yourself, it would be so much better. Not only will you strengthen your skill and your brain and all of this, but you're actually going to see results, one, and two, feel better about yourself. Like you will no
Mhm.
longer feel like, well, you know what, I can't do this, so for life I'm handicapped at this particular thing. And it's definitely not a good thing to carry with you all the time. And I know
Mhm.
me and you talk about this all the time, and it's funny because I can see the things I say, and I know they're not the right things to say, like excuses. And then it's like we're all human, and we're always trying to get better, but I'm not perfect and you're not perfect. And
No. Hmm.
we're always going to work on whatever skills we have and we want to acquire to get better. So I really love this. And when I was in Romania, we never thought about like a conversation that we're having right now. Like even the fact that people have like habits, like you wake up, you brush your teeth, and then you do your face routine, and then you move on to this. Everything was just kind of like whatever. And I come from a very unstructured
Hmm.
lifestyle, I guess. Not that it
Hmm.
was bad or good. It was just it's culture, it's what everybody does. Like I never thought that I have to like have you wake up at a certain time and go to sleep at the same time because it will be better for me. Like if somebody
Hmm.
would impose that on me, I would think like, what the hell? Like I'm not doing that. I do whatever I want. But then we don't realize until later that what we do it will affect us. It will make us better, or it will weaken us. So yeah, so
Yeah.
I've never done journaling, and I wanted to get a little bit more into that. And I think it's so good, and I want to start practicing it as well, cuz you mentioned for example, like gratitude, and you take a full day for that. I think that's pretty neat. I try to do it every single day, but I think the way you do it, actually focusing a whole day on that, that's actually pretty cool. Have you seen any changes, at least in your mind, since you started applying this weekly schedule?
So yeah, 100%. Definitely, my goals are always clear. So every single morning when I wake up, I have my to do list. So this is something that I also showed you, my to do list. And
Mhm.
basically, every single time I get a task, I add it to my to do list, and then every morning I need to set the priorities for these tasks. Now, because of what I'm doing every Monday, it's very clear to me what I should be working on. So when I set those priorities, it's always fresh in my mind throughout the week. Hey, like don't prioritize this thing when you know that like you said this is your goals. So for you to get to these goals, you need to do these tasks first. So it keeps me aligned. Now with gratitude, I don't feel like I need to do it every single day because it's like yeah, like the gratitude is there. I'm very grateful and all of that stuff, but I feel like if I did it every single day, it would be overkill for me. I mean, maybe in the future I'll do it more, but for me to write down everything that I'm grateful for every single day, I might just like not run out of things, but I
Oh,
might just be
you don't have to write this down, right? You can just practice while you're driving or while
No, no,
you.
no. Yeah, so I do that. No, but when it comes to journaling, I wanted to like write it down, and so I feel like writing that down every day wouldn't work. But and then with all of the things, it's generally like with the gratitude. Obviously, it always keeps me remembering. Like it makes me more happy. That I'm always happier. Like because I always remember what I have, and so that's improved a lot. Strengths and weaknesses, obviously, it's when they're always in front of me. Strengths, okay, always like work to your strengths, and then weaknesses, like okay, let's keep these in front of us and highlight them. Like no reason to keep them in that corner, tucked in away, like no one can see them, they're hidden. Like let's shine the light like very bright on them, and so they're right in your face, and you're like, okay, what have you done to like fix this? You're bad at accounting, what have you done to fix this today? And it keeps me always like, okay, yeah, like you know what, like I need to hire this consultant to teach me about this thing. And then Friday definitely has helped me the most because I feel like my mind is just expanding more. If that makes sense, like it's like I'm thinking in a different way, and it's expanding because it's like how do I make the impossible possible, pretty much. And by doing that, it really has helped me look at things in certain ways. And it's almost like you ever hear about how like they said it's impossible to run a sub 4 minute mile, and then once one person did it, everyone started doing it. So now I'm kind of thinking in that frame, is like if I can find one person that or one thing that can validate that this is possible, then it becomes possible. And so last year, a whole year went by, and I didn't even think about that. Like how can I make certain things that maybe in my subconscious I'm saying that are impossible, but actually might be possible. For example, like Daniel is the best example. Anything that I tell Daniel, mostly like 99% of the time, he's like, yeah, you can do this, this, this. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I do, and it's real. It works because he already did it. So it's like so many things in my mind. I'm like, maybe it's not possible or whatever. And he's like, no, yeah, it's like super easy, actually. Because it's someone who did it. And I started noticing that with the people who are telling me certain things like, oh yeah, man, like, I just need this. I'm like, no, you don't actually, like, do this, and like but I did it already. And it's like, and they're like taken back, and they're like, wow, that's like actually true. Like, it was all in their head. And so we see like people who are under us, thinking that, and we tell them. And so it's always good to seek those people above you who can like just validate for you that this thing that you think is not possible, and not that it's not possible ever, but not possible in a certain time frame, actually is.
Wow. So I love that you mentioned that. I mean, we both know Daniel. He's a genius. But you're right. I think it also has to do with the fact that like he works very hard and he doesn't take no for an answer. And what I notice, what a lot of people do, myself included, is like sometimes we put limits on ourselves before we even take it further. So if, let's say, I want to do 50 million a year, in my head I'm already like, that's probably going to be very hard to get there. And as soon as I have that thought, boom, all the ideas disappear, because you already blocked your ideas from flowing to you, from coming to you. What are some ways that you could reach that level, right? But because I already cut it myself, nobody else even had to stop this for me. I stopped it myself, so automatically no more idea flow. Any idea that might come my way, I will dismiss it. So it is about mindset shift. It is.
Yeah.
And what's the worst thing that can happen? Literally, what's the worst thing that can happen? You're not going to get there, which you weren't going to get there anyway with that mentality. 100%.
Exactly.
So, and I love that, we can learn these skills and we can practice this and then pass it on forward to our friends and those who ask for our advice. And then you can just see like how happy they are when they're like, oh my God, like this actually worked, like you said. And I know you do that a lot. You help a lot of people. But I am very curious. What is one of your weaknesses? Because you said you dedicate a full day for weaknesses. I'm very curious. What takes so long?
Accounting. That was my number one weakness, which I'm like, I think now I'm getting it to a point that it's going to become a strength. But I did not know. I had the worst accounting system. Everything was in a spreadsheet. I didn't do a single P&L. Nothing. Now I have like a super tight system with every single dollar that comes in, every single unit that's sold on Amazon. My cost of goods is constantly being updated based on invoices and things like that. I do a P&L on cash basis, which allows me to see my cash flow, and I do a P&L on accrual basis, which actually allows me to see the true profitability of my business. I do a balance sheet at the end of the close of every month. So I've taken something that I knew nothing about, was my weakness. I considered my weakness, and I worked so hard, and I talked to so many accountants, and I didn't say do it for me. Absolutely, I said because I've been there before. I've brought people, and I said, okay, I don't know how to do email marketing. Okay, do it for me. And then they did it for me, and it was horrible results because I don't know anything what they're doing. So, and I even with the bookkeeper that we hit up in the past, I brought her in, and guess what happened? There was zero results because I didn't know what to do. Like I said, okay, like fix my problems, that's not how it works. And so when I said, okay, I'm done with this, like I need to, and I consulted with people who that was their strength, the finance peoples, like certain people, like their strength is numbers, especially like if you go into the venture capital world and acquisition and that kind of world where it's like, it's all about how do we make the numbers look good on paper for a better valuation, things like that. So talking to these people, they taught me about it, building a system, and then eventually like you really just got to go through the dirty and bringing. I hired a few consultants, and I said, hey, spend an hour with me explaining this. And they would spend an hour, and I did that 3 or 4 times. I brought in a bookkeeper, I brought in an accountant. I said, spend an hour explaining to me exactly what you're doing, and then after they explained it so much, I'm like, yeah, this is like super simple, like I get it. And now if I'm telling you, like by the end of this year, it's gonna become a strength. It's no longer gonna be a weakness. So that's like one of my weaknesses. Another one of my weaknesses was just saying yes to too many opportunities. So obviously, you know this, and now I'm like getting a lot better at it. Another one of my weaknesses was lack of prioritization. So you know, or shiny object syndrome. You know, and so again, that I took care of that by having the Monday, which is clearly outlining my goals, and then having my to-do list, task list, prioritized every single day, which makes sure it makes me like not like, oh, like I want to do this you know, mastermind thing, you know, or whatever event. Okay, cool. Look at your goals on Monday, do your priority list. If you have extra time, you can do it as a side hustle at 7 8 p.m. at night, you know, kind of thing, like you're watching some podcast, and you know, I'm doing it as a side hustle, but it's not interfering with my work. So those are a few of my weaknesses.
Mm. And do you feel like we use some of these like goals and ideas just so we can not do the work that we're supposed to do? Some of us.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like there's a lot of times it's I have like shied away. I'm telling you, accounting, I shied so much away from it. Email marketing, creating a landing page, you know, that's pixeled, having an off Amazon like omni-channel, you know, social media. For the longest time I said I'm not good at Facebook ads. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. I'm not good at content creation. And then I'm like, no, I'm gonna get good at these things. And then one by one, it's just like I'm tackling one thing at a time, and learning it really well and understanding it. And then I have the network where I can hit up like 5 people, and at least one of them is going to be like, yeah, I know a guy who's really good at this thing. Connect us, please. He connects me. We have a 1 hour conversation, even if I have to pay for it. And there you go. Now I know this thing. If I have to do a couple hours or 3 hours, whatever. But imagine you're taking someone's mind, years of experience and knowledge, someone who's a good educator or consultant, and then saying, hey, can you like just teach me? And then they'll teach you. And I'm not saying like go get courses and all of this stuff. It's just learn from someone who's applying the stuff that you want to do. And you know, it's just literally a Kickstarter was the same thing. I said, oh, I don't know anything about Kickstarter. And now, you know, with Neuro, what we're doing is we're launching the entire thing on Kickstarter. And, you know, because we have sponsors like Getida, Thrasio, Ping Pong, I'm like hitting these people up. I'm like, hey, do you know a guy who does this? Hey, do you know a guy who does that? And literally just like pulling in from, and if I have to pay, I have to pay. But it's the best investment you'll ever make is the one that's in yourself.
I
So
love that. Can you tell us a little bit about your project, just a few minutes? Because I don't think most people don't know about it.
yeah, so the Neuro project, it's basically it's a series where we want to like it's gonna be the best educational series like out there, better than any course, better than anything. So basically I approached Samer, who's an Amazon FBA YouTuber, and I said, hey man, I have this crazy idea. Why don't you follow me? We're gonna create a product that, you know, we both want. We're gonna document every single step of the way. We're gonna launch it. We're gonna do everything, and to show everyone that you don't need money to make money, we're gonna launch it on Kickstarter, raise the money there, pay the manufacturers, get the shit done, you know, and show every step of the way, ranking, you know, PPC, even like we're gonna show like how we came up with the formula and everything. And he's like, yeah, I'm down, that sounds amazing. And so everyone can kind of see exactly like, no more like, oh, like I'm hiding my product, or this is a screenshot of my revenue, you know. No, it's like, here's every single thing. And it's like kind of, it could fail, you know, it could pass, it could fail, we don't know, and you'll just follow the story. But then we said, why don't we reach out to some sponsors? So we reached out to Getida, which is like a, you know, FBA reimbursements, one of the biggest FBA reimbursements company. Thrasio, $1 billion acquisitions company. Ping Pong Payments, which is like a really good currency exchange company. PickFu for split testing. Sellerize, it's a really good app. And then Incrementum, we reached out to Liran. I think you've had him here, or he's definitely been here at some point.
I had
We said, what if we do this? We get them to sponsor the series, and we take that money and we use it to bring as much value as we can to the people. So we're going to show everyone how to create a landing page, or how to create a lead magnet. by talking to someone who's created so many. We're going to show everyone how to create the best landing pages by talking to someone who's done it. We're going to show everyone how to pixel and retarget. We're going to show everyone how to create an omni channel strategy: Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, YouTube, email. We're gonna get the best email guy, and if we just have to pay for these people, we can use the sponsor money, pay these people. Hey, come for an hour. We're gonna record. Here's what we want to do. Teach us, and then you teach us, and we release it on YouTube, and everyone learns, and you get to learn from our result. And on top of that, we created something called a playbook. And so Samer said, do not do a single thing in the business without us recording it. And so creating an LLC, recorded, bank account, recorded, GS1 barcodes, recorded, every single, creating a later account for Instagram, recorded, branding, just everything is recorded. And there's a step-by-step checklist, and all of these videos are there, and all of these resources, links to these resources are there, and literally it's free. You just download it, you make a copy for yourself, and you're like, okay, I'm going to start a new business. And you just go through the checklist, you watch the video, you see exactly what I did, what me and Samer did for Neuro, and you follow. And we just want to add value, listen, I don't make money off this. I make money off selling supplements. This is just to help people and to displace all of the bad advice and the fake gurus. And I mean, I see people who are charging money, and then people in their courses come to me and they're like, Mina, can you look at my PPC? They told me to do this, and the PPC is all messed up. And I'm like, man, it just feels wrong for all these people out there to be charging money. And you know what? By me not doing anything, it's like aiding and abetting, And so I tell so many people, especially Sam, I tell him this. I said, man, by you not doing this, you're doing a disservice to the people. I made a post on Samer's channel, and I said, here's my graphic, here's my designer, and she creates listing images and enhanced brand content. Here's my lifestyle photographer. Here's my here's Paulina for my videos. I'm working on a guy for a white box pictures. I said, here you go, because I would be, first of all, these people, they're not going to betray me, okay? Because I sent them so much business. When I say, hey, I need this shit done, it's going to be done the first. So I'm not worried about making money or $20 off each order. I don't care about this kind of money. It's a waste of my time to even text these people. By me texting, I'm losing money, okay? So I don't care, but I am doing people a disservice by hiding these resources, because guess what? They're going to go to someone on Fiverr who's going to screw them. They're going to go to some guru who's going to say, oh yeah, I have an amazing listing up to, and then they're going to get screwed. And so you're aiding and abetting. And so that's why I tell Sam, I was like, if there's so much bad stuff out there and we have good stuff, I mean, obviously, for me, personal branding helps me, because eventually, when I become famous, it's like, look at Logan Paul. Like, this guy's launching whatever he wants, and he's making money. So yeah, this is my benefit. That's my benefit. So everyone is clear. This is why I do it. It's because my personal brand will eventually, if I become someone like Grant Cardone or Gary Vee, I can sell 6 bottles of wine to a zillion people and make a shit ton of money. So that's why I'm doing it. Samer makes money off YouTube ad revenue for the people who are advertising in his channel, and affiliate commission on the services, all this stuff. So this is how we make money. But when I extend my services to you, I don't make money, but I help the community, because I am hurting the community, because I know I have the solution, and I'm hiding it. And so for all the people that have a scarcity mindset, that do have the solutions and are hiding it, you're basically aiding and abetting all of the bad people out there who are selling $1,000 courses or selling $500 services, and people are getting shit stuff,
I love your honesty. And I actually saw the post, and the prices were amazing, super cheap. And I've seen the quality that this people that you recommended.
It's on my listings. It's the stuff that's on my listings. So you could go check Hydrolyte Energizer. That's the stuff.
Yeah, very, very, very good. And not very pricey, because everybody expects to pay thousands of dollars. And I see a lot of clients coming to Rank Bell, and their listing is not the best, their pictures are not the best. And it's hard for me to like tell them that it sucks. But sometimes I do ask like who did your listing and this, and or how much you pay for this, and the price always surprises me because
It's
it's
crazy.
you can tell it was done in rush. There was not really any thought behind it, and you're right. Like and then we wonder, why do people fail? Because somebody that's never owned a business, they'll start an Amazon brand and then meet all these people, and probably through recommendations too. Like, oh, I heard so and so was like amazing, and I heard so and so, and then they go there and they pay a few $1,000s and they come back, and then we do the ranking, and then they're like, well, I don't know why the ranking doesn't stick. And it's like,
Your
it's not
product looks horrible.
yeah, it's not just one thing. You have to put everything together for this to work. And it's heartbreaking for them. And they're like, and then a lot of people give up. A lot of Amazon sellers give up. They don't ever come back because they faced so many bad things, and they're like, what, this is not working. Little did they know that they could have spent a quarter of that money and had a perfect listing and perfect images, and with the ranking and with PPC, they would have shined. But they
Yeah.
don't know this. So I'm so happy that you're doing this. I stand behind it. I think it's a great idea. And I love that you said, you want to do this for yourself as well. I mean, barely ever do we meet people, a lot of people say, I don't want to do, I'm not doing this for myself. We're all humans here. We all do stuff for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
if you try to
There's
hide that
there's
and
no need
hide
there's no need to lie. I'm not doing anything bad. Like, dude, I'm helping you. Okay, like help me. That's
exactly.
like it's simple.
And it's what we do. That's why human beings are social. We like to help
Hmm.
each other. We and just like we were talking the other day, it's like we exchange energy and we exchange money and we exchange all of this, and it
Yeah.
benefits all of us.
And the
Mhm.
money doesn't disappear. It's just the changing hands. It's going from me to you to this person, that person, and then coming back to me. And so that's why I'm so grateful that I have people like you who also have an abundance mindset, because there's so many people out there with a scarcity mindset, and there's so many people out there worried about so many things. And someone I was literally consulting a PPC guy, a person for PPC, and he said, man, like, how do you share all of this stuff? Like, aren't you afraid you're creating more competitors for yourself? I said, are you crazy? Do you know how many $1 billion the supplement industry is? Like, what do you think? You know how much money I'm taking? I'm like you can't even see it. I'm taking like a microscopic amount of money from the amount of customers that are in supplement industry. If my tactics were gonna bring my own company down, then my company is basically a house of cards.
Yes. Wow. That's a
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I see that a lot. And it's because, we're scared. Like we learn one thing and we want to hold on to it. Like, oh my God, if somebody else hears that, then we're not gonna make it. But your results are not based on what other people do or don't. I mean, there's free information out there right now that could teach you how to become a millionaire and more.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
not like 20, 30 years ago where you didn't have this information. You didn't have the internet. You had to go to the library and maybe read on somebody who did who knows what, and it was almost impossible to find this information. And now we have all the information at our fingertips. Why aren't we all millionaires walking around?
In
All
in Napoleon Hill's times, he used to have to write like letters to hundreds of people to ask them, like Henry Ford and stuff like that, and say, "Hey, can I spend like an hour with you, just like asking you questions?" Like, he used to literally have to write letters and send them in the mail, and obviously, like, you just never hear back. So
yeah.
now it's like you have a million courses online. You have so much
Yeah.
information.
And then it's a lot of
So
free information too. If you go to YouTube and, sometimes I have people that have never sold on Amazon. They come to me and, they want to have a consultation with me, and I would love to, but I always tell them, I say, hey, if you can, please try to get the basics, because your time would be wasted asking me simple questions that you would be able to find yourself online. Try to
mhm.
learn as much as you can. And when you go into more detail and you get the difficult questions that you cannot find, then I would sit down with you as long as it takes for you to get to that. But your time will be absolutely wasted if you ask me how to open a Seller Central, or how to create an LLC, or small things like this. So and you said that I have an abundance mindset, and thank you for that. And I just want people to know that people are not born with this, guys. Like, we're not just, oh my God, I'm so lucky that my
I think we're born with the opposite.
yeah, I mean, our default is definitely negative.
Scarcity.
our default is, hey, watch out, you're gonna get burned every step of the way. So it takes effort for us to combat that. It doesn't come easy. What comes easy is violence. What comes easy is anger. What comes hard is calmness. What comes easy is fear, to be scared of everything. What is hard is to control those thoughts. All of these
Mhm.
things are hard. So it's not something people are born with. And if you met somebody that is born with that, please let me know. I would love to interview them. But most of the people that I talk to, they really had to work hard on their mindset. And by working hard is exactly what you said, Mina. Starting very small, adding one little thing to your habit list. When you brush your teeth, look in a mirror and say, today I will be the best I have ever been. And everything
Mhm.
that I do today, it will be towards my goal. Now, what is my goal? So all of that will trickle into a whole spiral of like beauty. Today, I want to go to the gym. I don't really feel like going to the gym, but I will, because it's going to take me to that goal. So even the smallest thing. And I love what you said when we first started the interview. You said a lot of I lost my train of thought, but you said a lot of people, they come into this and they expect everything to be easy. Let's put it this way. I want everything to be easy. Mina, how many times did me and you
Yeah.
talk about this? And I want everything easy. It's normal, guys. I have to fight my weaknesses every single day. I literally have to fight every single day. And then this over time, if you do this over and over and over and over again, you are going to become this person that you're not even going to believe that who you were 6 months ago. And again, it's not a huge thing, because it's very hard to go from 0 to 100. But like you said, if you establish just a little thing and a little thing, and next thing you know, you're like, holy cow, I've been doing this for 6 months. Like now I'm giving advice on accounting or whatever it is,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
I love that. Like we feel better. We get to look forward to other problems too, instead of like shying away. Because it's
Mhm.
very easy to be like, you know what? This is not working for me. Amazon is not working for me. Like all the
Yeah.
advice that I get is wrong. And yeah, sometimes we have to get our hands dirty, right? Isn't that what you
Yeah.
tell me all the time?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like the faster you get your hands dirty, the better you're gonna be. There's no way around it. The only way is through it, through the nastiness.
Yeah. Do you find it easy to meet people that actually open up to you? So for example, if you go with a very hard question, um do you find people that are like, you know what, let me show you how it's done? Because you mentioned this, that you get to talk to people and they actually sit down with you and
Mhm.
they go through this, rather than just saying, hey, just buy my course. How
Yeah.
is
That's the problem. You have to go after the right people. So all of us are looking for gurus, but what if you just went to, uh, let's say, what's a company? I'm trying to like look for something around. Say you went to Dell. You went to Dell, and then you go and you say, "Hey, can I talk to one of the accountants?" I'm not gonna sell you a course. You tell them how much are you making a year, or 100K, 70K. Tell them, okay, I'll give you 70K. That's 35 an hour. Tell them I'll give you 55 an hour. Can you sit down with me? Okay, you go, you sit down with him. Sure, what's up? Can you explain to me like this? Like, this is my business. It's like, oh, this is what you're doing. No, 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 no. So then you need it, and like they just because they're doers. They're doing the thing, and it's just a person who's an expert who's doing the thing. So I think people are always going after generalists, and I don't agree. I don't think you should. And for me, if you come to me and you ask me for accounting advice, I mean, I'm probably gonna say, listen, man, like you should probably ask someone who's much better at accounting for accounting advice. I'm not the best person. There's a few things that I'm really good at. I can give you like good advice on, but
Yeah.
people are looking for, like if I built like a $10 million brand, you're gonna come to me and say, hey, can you teach me about this thing? I'm like, dude, I don't know this thing, or not I don't know, like I don't know, I'm not the best person who knows this thing. Why don't you go to someone who's a specialist in that thing? Just because I built a $10 million brand does not mean I know every single thing under the sun. And that's the perception. And I'm not discrediting everyone. Like I said, like for example, we were in the clubhouse with Ezra Firestone. I am sure Ezra, like whatever my strengths are, even if that's his weakness, he knows it better than me. So like let's say that his weakness, for example, was systems, and that's my strength. He probably has better systems than me, just because he's developed so much. But so many people like go to for those types of people. Obviously, Ezra Han present, legit, but they go for those types of people, and they're like, because this person has showed us that he made $2 million, $3 million, $10 million, then that must mean he knows everything. But that's not the case. If you want to know about accounting, just go to someone who is an accountant. Either go to someone whose strength is accounting, or go to an accountant in a company that's similar to yours, so a physical product brand, and then tell them like, how do you track this stuff? How do you do the bookkeeping? If you're looking for someone who's really good at branding, go to a company that has amazing branding, and then talk to the person who does their branding. And if it's an agency, okay, then maybe you have to pay the agency money. If it's not an agency, if it's a full-time employee, okay, buy them a couple hours of their time. Say, listen, not trying to take away secrets or anything, like just tell me how to go about it. And these people will tell you what they're doing, because they're employees. They don't have a scarcity mindset. They show up to work, they do their work, and they leave. So if I was working back when I was working, creating safety data sheets, and you said, Mina, can you tell me about how to create a safety data sheet? I'm not going to be like, oh no, like, pay the company, because I'm not gonna make any more money. I have salary. I'm gonna make the same amount of money. So I'm gonna be like, yeah, sure. This is section 1. Is this section 2? Is this? Oh, you need to go into Reach database and like search and so on and so forth. So
also, people feel like they're scared to approach like very successful companies because they think, oh my God, who's gonna give me the time? But usually these successful companies already have that mindset of giving and being abundant, which is what made them successful. So maybe not all of them, but most of them you will have a positive experience with, because they already passed through that phase of like, I need to hold on to everything I know, because if you hold on to everything you know, you're never going to blow up into a very successful company. Impossible. It just doesn't go together.
Yeah, and like, most 9 to 5 employees really don't care. Like, you can go sit down with them, ask them a million questions. They don't care. That's what I would suggest people start doing.
I love it. And since we're getting close to the end, what are some books you recommend? I know you said Atomic Habits. The other one was Mini Habits. Any other ones that really stood out for you that pushed change a little bit?
Yeah. So since we're at the subject of like biohacking, Peak Performance, Elevate Your Game is an insane book. So it's not just for athletes. Yes, I'm an athlete. I was reading it as an athlete, but every single concept translated into business. For example, priming. I don't think anyone other than me that I know does priming. And basically what priming is, so for me, before sparring, I have a certain Vaseline. I put it on the gloves. I put it on my eyes, and as soon as my nose smells it, I do a certain warm up. My body knows it's sparring. Okay, it knows that today we're sparring, which means today, like, get on your A game. And so before I start work, I have a certain routine that I do. It doesn't make any sense. So there's no point in me even describing it. But it's a certain set of things that I do that when I do it, my body is triggered to understand we are about to start working. So get in the zone. And by doing this so much, it's even with the temperature, like I said, when my body realizes, hey, it's 74 degrees, my body's like, okay, it's work time. It's not sleep time, because it's not 66. And so a very, very important part in that book is priming. There's so many other like golden nuggets in there. Really, like, you have to treat your business as if you're a competitive athlete, and do everything that you can. For priming, there's also a lot to do with environmental design in that book, and I think that's huge. For example, you see, I'm now always wearing Gymshark. I found Gymshark that I really like the way it fits me, and I really like the material. I bought 12 shirts from Gymshark, okay? And that's all I wear to work. That's it. I don't wear anything else. The reason is, it's right there in my closet. There's 12 shirts. Every day I wake up, I do not make that decision. I just pull the next one and wear it. It looks good. Everything is good. And I don't have that decision fatigue. So many people have all this stuff in their house. You have cookies, you have snacks, you have drinks, and you're like, oh, you know what? You're on 75 hard. You're like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to have that cookie. Well, guess what? By having that cookie, you made a decision. And that decision is going to fatigue you when it comes to 4 p.m. and one of your assistants or staff hits you up and says, I need this. You're going to make a worse decision. And they did that. There are studies. Judges who were granting parole or whatever to people to inmates in the morning versus in the evening. In the morning, it was like 80% okay, like they granted, and in the evening, it was like 99% rejected. And it was like it's no coincidence that as you're making more and more decisions throughout the day, you get decision fatigue, and then you're no longer, you're just making bad decisions. So that book is golden for biohacking. Peak Performance, Elevate Your Game. Highly recommend you guys get that. Just so I can't even cover, like, there's so many things in that book. I'm probably gonna reread it again.
I love it. And one thing, I know we went over our time, but you mentioned the priming thing. A lot of us do the opposite. Like, we don't think, okay, priming, it's too hard to get into that and learn it. But we're priming ourselves every single day with negative things. So, like, I'll give you an example. Like, if you read a book before you go to sleep to put you to sleep, now it's going to be very hard for you to actually read a book during the day, because your body's going to be like, oh, it's reading time. That means I need to go to sleep. You're never going to be able to get through a book and actually get the value from it, because that is what you are telling your mind, that when you read, that's the time for sleep. So it's very easy to train our minds and bodies to certain things. So it's your decision in which way you are going to train them.
Yeah, 100%. And it does never has to be anything complicated. Don't look to see what other people are doing. Start like doing this stuff for yourself. My priming routine for work is literally something I completely made up. It's like, things that I say, actions that I take. I set up my desk in a certain way, and I'm like, okay, this feels like it's time to work. A few movements here and there. It's like, okay, my body's like, yeah, it's time to work. It's work time. So it's that simple. But remember, like, there's always a ramp up time, like a consistent, and then a downtime. The shorter you can make that ramp up time, the more efficient you're going to be. And then a lot of it is also understanding deep work. Deep work is a very good book too, because if you can, like, I feel personally that I can work in 1 hour what other people can do in 6 or 8. And the reason is because I can get in the zone super fast. I can get really, really, really deep and work super effectively. And then I understand, like, okay, if I'm gonna work, let's say from now I have a 4-hour stretch, which means I know myself that I'm gonna go this peak, and then I'm gonna start going down after 1 hour. So, which means after 1 hour, I'll take a 5-minute break. But what I do is I stand up, I walk around, and I talk about the subject, talk out loud about the subject that I'm working on. 5 minutes go by, I sit down and I start working again, and I'm back in the zone. So I cut that ramp time, okay? And so I understand my deep work, how much I can do deep work. So when it's start going down, I interrupt that so I can keep that top, and then I understand, like, how long before, and I also understand, how food affects me. So this is the number one thing that goes into biohacking. You're crazy if you want supplements or whatever or something to biohack if your diet and your sleep and your exercise is not on point. That's the biggest hack, okay? If your sleep is perfect, if you're sleeping consistently, 8 hours, whatever your body. For me, it's like 7.5 is like my prime. So 7.5. If your diet is clean, it's on point, and if you're training and exercise, you get that blood flow every single day, and you understand meal timing. So for me, I can't eat before 3, because if I eat anything before 3, my performance will slow down. Once you get that done, you're going from 0 to like 90. And then that biohacking that I'm talking about and all this stuff, that's like 90 to 100, So by you not eating well, not sleeping well, not training well, this is all like you're leaving most of the work, and you're like focusing on the 5%. That's like, oh, this is what's gonna make the difference. Biohack. It's not like eating right, because I'm telling you, the reason I know this is because I wasn't doing it, and then I did it, and then I stopped for a little bit, like maybe vacation, whatever. You can feel the difference. It's like when you are in a like Toyota Camry and get in a Lamborghini or a McLaren, and then back in the Toyota Camry. You can notice the difference, right? You can notice the difference. Okay, like after driving it for a day, you get into this other car, you're like, wow, this is slow. This is like like wow, like this is a massive difference. And so that's why I know the difference, because I've been at that point where it's like consistency and peak performance and everything, and then you go back down and you're like, wow, like like I don't know how people are not living on that level. Like this should be your number one priority. And I'm telling you, this is the vehicle. This is the vehicle. Your mind is amazing, but this is the vehicle. And if you don't take care of the vehicle, it can't drive fast. So by taking care of your body, eating, sleeping, obviously reducing stress and all of that stuff, you're going to naturally perform, from zero. If you're at 0 or 1%, you're going to go from 1% to 90%. And then priming, environmental design, all this stuff is just gets you that incremental increase to get you to 100%.
I love it. And buy Hydrolyte.
And but yeah, let's go.
Thank you, Mina. Sending you much love. You're my favorite. Thank you so much for coming today and sharing your wisdom and your experience with this. Appreciate it.
I hope everyone learns some good stuff.
I
Read
think
the book.
I think everybody did. Yeah, you need to write your book next.
Maybe
Maybe like a free ebook or something.
Yeah, I start with a small ebook and then I'll expand it, make it for 99 cents, become a best-selling author. It's all
There you
part of
go.
my plan.
There you go. Rank well can rank it and boom. Okay.
There you go.
Adios. Thank you.